I had a great experience as the YAC advisor. I served for 10 years with a great variety of youth from all over the community. And it was really enjoyable watching those youth grow from coming in 7th grade when they were so shy and reserved and didn't say anything, to the time they graduated from high school when they were active participants and really excited about what they were doing, learning about how to be philanthropists.
Always have a memory of when I was with the young adults. It was always fun. They were always creative and cheerful and willing to learn. They had a lot to learn. They had to learn about what the foundation was. That's something they didn't know anything about. They had to learn about the fact that they actually had responsibility for making economic decisions and decisions that were going to affect people. And they had to learn about that and take that seriously. And they did that very, very well.
What I remember most and appreciate most is probably helping the community out. It was really nice. I know after we granted some programs money, we would get letters back saying how they used it, and sometimes you'd hear from the kids that were involved and stuff, and it was really nice to be able to understand what we were doing was helping these children or these groups out.
What I remember most about my YAC experience is my very first meeting. It is the memory that is so engraved in my mind, and I remember walking into this room and feeling so small and very, very young and very unprepared to do what I was being asked to do. And then experiencing that change over the next few years, that all of a sudden I had all this, it felt all of a sudden I had all this confidence, and I felt like I could be a leader and could talk to people. I could never talk to people before YAC. It was not something that I knew how to do or was comfortable doing. So the best memory I have from my YAC experience was coming in so afraid and so shy in every kind of way, and then growing into this person who was confident and who could be in leadership positions and experiencing that growth.
As much as it was a commitment for the youth members to be a part of YAC and to be willing to devote their time to their community, the adult members really are incredible and were such good resources for us to have and still are. And I mean, Flamingo Fundraising, getting up early in the morning to drive us around to fundraise, none of it would have been possible without the strong support that we had of our adult members who made us feel like we had a voice and that what we were saying was important enough to also commit their time to.
I remember with YAC that we had some prominent community members giving time out of their schedule each month to work with the students. So we had like Steve Martineau, Dyke Heinze, Sarah Gilbert, Bob Wheeler, and they were all really prominent members of the community that were willing to help sort of mentor.
The students learn in the YAC that the world is bigger than what they normally see. You know, they're used to high school or junior high and their friends around them. They don't see that there's other needs out in the community a lot that they can experience. And so the YAC gives them the opportunity to experience a bigger part of life than what they normally would.
I think they make a difference, at least within the organization, is they help board members, the board members themselves, see and remember that this is a part of our community that we need to serve and we need to hear from.
Nobody can represent a demographic the same way that that demographic can. So youth know what's important to them and they know what their issues are, and it's important for them to have a voice.
I think that YAC makes a huge difference in the communities they're involved in. It's not every day that a youth member can see a very physical outcome of their work and their attempts to better their community, and with YAC you can see that. You can see the different programs that we had helped fund be initiated. You may even be in attendance of some of them. The physical things like donating to museums and things that support youth areas. I think it was just very rewarding to see that outcome in the community, and I think that YAC has made a huge difference.
I think that it gives our youth an opportunity to make a difference in our community, and so they are starting to be able to make decisions within the community at a very young age, which is making our leadership when they're older a lot better and enhancing the community leadership.
I think YAC makes a difference on so many levels in this community and in the surrounding areas. And of course, with the grants that it offers to all kinds of different organizations is incredible, but I really think the biggest difference that it makes is in the lives of those who serve on the committee. And to see how students can experience that growth, and the students I served with, we all kind of had our own experiences of growth throughout that time. And for me, it was going from that, the shyness to the confidence, but for others it was learning how to work as a team. For some it was learning how to step outside of their comfort zone in different ways. And just to see that you have this opportunity to try out different skills and to learn even learning grant writing skills, that was incredible for me. Since I left YAC, I've had all kinds of chances to help organizations write grants. And without being on the YAC, I never would have known how to write a grant. So I think that makes such a difference in future lives of those who have served.
Well, the fact that they are involved in grant making, and they're involved in volunteerism, they're involved in fundraising, they interface with other kids within their schools, and they become role models for those other kids. So all those put together, I would say, makes a significant difference within the community.
It gave me the confidence as a young person to feel like my voice and my actions could have a very real impact in my community. I think it's a very unique and empowering organization for youth to have the opportunity to feel that the adults in the community want their input, value their input, and are using their input towards making the community better for people their age.
The biggest lesson I learned from being a part of the YAC is it takes people getting involved to make communities great. It really is. Communities don't make themselves. It takes special groups of people with special talents and unique talents to come together to make communities great. And that has always stuck with me from the YAC. It's the biggest thing I've taken away from it. And it's something I've always tried to impress upon other people to get involved, no matter what level or what angle you have or what skill set you have, that can help somewhere.
I would have to say the biggest lesson was learning to work with a diverse group of people from different schools, different ages, like I mentioned, the adult advisors, and all of us having to come to a decision and work as a board, and really just being able to make decisions as a board. I mean, I use that so much in my life now, serving on other boards, and that was a big lesson that I learned at a young age.
YAC was really cool because it brought youth from all over the community. So every school was represented. Students that I would probably never have come into contact with otherwise, and then also advisors who were kind of pillars of the community.
It taught me even more about teamwork, that you can in fact work well with those who are even so different from you, because that's what I noticed with students from different schools. You could almost tell stereotypically where students were from. And I was kind of nervous about that because with our high schools, we're taught to be rivals with some of these schools. And to think about how even though we're different, or we come from different places, or we think differently, we can still work together for the betterment of our community. And I think that is one of the best lessons that kids can learn, is that it's not necessarily about you, it's not necessarily about that rivalry or anything like that, or it's not about the differences, it's about the things that bring us together. It's about the things that we have in common, and those things are often so much greater than the things that we have different.
My hopes for Youth Philanthropy are that they continue to be a vital part of our foundation, that they get involved in all levels and in all the things that we're doing, so that they can see the impact that they can have as citizens in our community in the future.
I think that for any children or teens that get approached to be in YAC, if they get questioned to do it, they should jump on it and take it and go with it, because had I known, I did not know years ago when I was on YAC that I would be in positions that I am in now, and I really think that YAC helped me to make a difference on the boards and the way I serve the community now.
YAC was just an incredible experience, and I wish I had known how incredible of an experience it was at the time. It's something that still pops up in my life often, to remember, oh, I learned this during my time serving serving with the Community Foundation, and I never realized it until years later. So I'm just so thankful for my time here.
My biggest piece of advice to members of the YAC are to take it seriously. What you do and how you think about things and the advice you give and the directions you give matter. They really, really matter. You guys are living it. You guys are in the middle of it. So when you tell the board this is what you think should happen, we take it very seriously. And don't ever second guess yourself thinking that just because you're younger or just because you're from this school or this walk of life or that walk of life, that your opinion doesn't matter. It always matters if you want it to matter.
I think the most important thing that YAC members need to understand is that they are the voice of the youth of this community, and they do make a difference. And if they make a difference in the lives of just one youth in our community, that's a big deal.